Alright, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Gonna start it out by letting everybody know that we have some new shirts in stock.
Twirl around, son.
They're all white. Pretty excited with the way that they turned out. We'll let y'all know these are not a heavy blend shirt. They are a thinner style shirt, but that's kind of like what we like to wear. But this is a small. I haven't washed one yet, so I don't know how the shrinkage is going to be. But they are 50-50 blend, so they shouldn't shrink too much. But shirts are $20 a piece. If you want one, just hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, or email, or you can message us on the shop phone. But yeah, we're going to try to start doing a little bit more of this, and eventually we'll have a website up and going to where y'all can just go to a website and order it. But for now, like I said, just hit us up on one of our socials or on our phone, and you can get one that way. But we're just going to be doing one of our walkthrough videos today. We've had a lot going on, got a lot of new projects, got a lot done on the projects that are already in here, and yeah, so we're just going to get right into it. And as you can see right here behind me, we have another red vet in here. This vet just come in for us to do a little cage work on. They originally had bought a RPM cage kit for this thing and didn't realize that it was a 10-point cage kit, and didn't realize that the dash bars went around the outside of the dash. So if you're familiar with the vet, they're already extremely tight on the inside, and running that bar around the outside of that dash, it really closes up a lot of your leg room and stuff in there getting in and out. So we are going to utilize part of the cage, mostly just the main hoop, the back bars, and stuff like that. And from there, we're going to be adding the two A-pillar bars that run all the way to the floor. We're going to be doing a set of door bars and stuff in it with a different set of swing outs because we didn't like the swing outs that were in it. But Derek finally got his first experience with pulling a dash out of a vet. If you've never pulled a dash out of a vet, they are an absolute nightmare. So he had his first experience with this. So how was that, Derek?
Use the internet.
Yeah, there's literally probably close to 75 bolts that you have to pull out to get that thing out of there.
Yeah, there was a good bit for sure.
Yeah, there's a lot of bolts, but he can kind of come over here and let y'all see what we got to deal with next is we got to figure out how to get an A-pillar bar down through here. As you can see, there's
Right there.
yeah,
Right
yeah,
there.
yep. Got to get a bar to go down through there. So first step was just getting the car completely gutted, getting the dash out of it. So now the next step will be pulling some of these AC vents out of the way, and then we will actually end up having to trim some of these and then glue them back together, like plastic weld them back together, because he does want all the AC and everything like that to work in this thing. So
Jonathan's kind of laughing and smiling because that's the first I've heard about the extent of that area.
yeah. So there's a lot that's gonna have to be trimmed. Part of this, just the plastic piece right here where the car is actually glued together, that will have to get cut out too. So yeah, there's a lot that has to get cut on one of these. These cars are not easy to work on or do a cage in or anything like that. Luckily, I have a decent amount of experience doing this because at the last shop I worked for before I started my business, we did a lot of these, so I kind of got a little experience with these. So that's kind of a wrap on this thing. It's not a super big hurry, but we're gonna go ahead and try to get it knocked out just so we can get it out of the shop. But yeah, just A4 bars, windshield bar, and then a nice set of door bars with nice swing outs. On from there,
Something looks really familiar.
yeah, something really familiar. Not really going to talk much on it because we're going to be doing a full video on this thing. Super excited about it, and I think everybody else is going to be super excited about it too.
It's back. That's all you need
It's
to know
back,
for now.
and we got a good game plan with it, and it does have a new owner. It's a new owner with it. Got a good game plan for it, but we'll have a full video on that thing here coming up soon. Got the red bat. Still got to get started on the headers. We put the bumper back on and everything. This car and the red car from the same shop. So whenever he come down to drop the other vet off, we did some talking and got a little bit better game plan on this thing just because it's a nightmare in itself. the Nova. Making really good headway on the Nova. We've kind of run into a debacle with the seats there for a little bit. The customer, or this customer, he is extremely tall, probably what, 6'3", something like that.
Yeah, at
Yeah,
least.
he's at least 6'3", and he's not a small built man. He's not fat or anything like that, but he's just a big dude in general. So fitting him inside this car was not easy at all. He has went through like 3 different sets of seats trying to figure out a seat that will work, that keeps his head from being so close to the roof of the car. And obviously, we're putting the cage and stuff inside of the car. It's made it a little bit tighter, and you want to make sure that your head, whenever you're driving and stuff, because this is still a street car, that it's out of the way of all the bars. We've got all the bars as tight in the car as we can put them, and but you want to make sure that you have clearance around all those bars in your head, just in case you get into a wreck on the street. Obviously, you don't have a helmet on, so you don't want your head to be able to hit one of those bars, because it will do some damage to you. But we take a look inside. I don't remember in the last video what all we had done, but the top part of the dash is cut out. Um, Pretty much all the 10-point in this car is done, from the main hoop to the firewall. Everything's done, welded out. So we was just kind of waiting on him to figure out what seats he was going to go with, so we could get the placement of our harness bar where it needed to be. And then, because we're going to be doing a double halo feature on this car, so instead of just having 2 down back bars that run down through here, he'll get a halo that connects here and then runs all the way around, obviously like a U shape, and connects to the other side. It'll kind of land about right in here, and then you'll have your bars that come from the main hoop tie into here, and then from the bottom of that halo into this crossbar. Kind of like I said before, we're kind of planning ahead in the future. That way, if everyone wants to 4-link this thing, so that's why we put this bar in. Is this will actually be in the location to where whenever he does 4-link it, all the coilovers and everything will attach to that bar right there. But from there, we got this rear cross member in. You can see we got some tabs on here, and we've actually built a custom fuel cell for this car too. He didn't like just generic fuel cell that he had, because it stuck way up inside of here, and it also hung down really far up underneath the car. So we built a real slim. We'll go over there and look at it here in a minute. But we built a real slim fuel cell that's wide, long, and it's got some baffling and stuff built into it. And then that way, whenever he puts the bumper on the car, you can't see the fuel cell from the bottom side of the bumper. And then whenever we redo the tin inside of here, everything will be contained underneath that tin work. But it'll be just a nice, clean setup for this car.
And it'll be fillable from the license plate.
Yes, so we're actually going to, if anybody's familiar with like the mid 60s to early 70 models cars, obviously the license plate and stuff folds down, and you got your fuel neck right here. So we are going to be utilizing this to where he can still fill it just like it's supposed to be. We are doing a few little things in here. We will have a standard style opening lid, fuel cell style lid, that will be in the top up here with a open hatch and stuff like that. That way, whenever he's racing, he can check the fuel level in it a little bit more accurately than just with a level sensor and stuff that will be in there. But that way, if he's doing no prep stuff, because he does no prep it, he can make sure that it's full of fuel all the way to the brim. That way, he gets as much weight on the ass of this thing as possible. And then if he's doing some of the more true street stuff and junk like that, he can really just check and see how much fuel's in there, to because you just want as little in there to make the car as light as possible. But yeah, don't have a whole lot left on this thing. Got to do the double halo, and then we got to build a firewall for here, just because he has to have one for the safety side of things. But yeah, making really good progress on this thing, and super excited with the way it's turned out, and he seems to be pretty excited about it too. But you'll walk over there and check out the fuel cell?
Yeah.
Might be able to get Derek to throw up some pictures of the inside that I took of the little baffle system and stuff that we made, just to keep it from sloshing fuel around and stuff like that. Obviously, you can't see a whole lot about it, because it's just a box in a sense. But we did it out of 1/8 inch thick steel just because of how long and wide this thing is.
Aluminum.
Aluminum, yes, 1/8 inch thick aluminum, just so that this thing isn't flimsy, because this is about a 20 to 22 gallon cell, so it's going. I mean, that's a lot of weight that this fuel cell will be holding. So obviously, right here we got a rollover vent that will go in here. Got our return line over here, and then we have our feed side, and then we just have the extra bung in the bottom here to be able to drain the tank if he needs to. But so this thing is designed to where it sits flat inside of the car. It has an inch of taper from the front side of the tank to the back side of the tank. That way, obviously, all the fuel is already gravity fed to the back of the tank, and then we have a sump and everything down here. That way, all of the fuel is in a sump. But also inside of there, like I said, we have a baffle system. You can kind of see the weld marks in here. Derek will throw up a picture, but there's two runners that run on each side of the sump all the way up through here, and then there's a divider in the center of them. They have little half moons on the bottom side of all of it, but that way whenever he's racing and stuff like that or just driving, the fuel can't slosh real hard side to side, front to back. And then it also, with it having that divider here, you have a box that keeps fuel inside that sump at all times. So super excited about that. Obviously, we got the two rear mounts on there. Once we get a little bit more of the bar work in, we'll finish mounting the fuel cell. So honestly, this is what the customer's most excited about out of this whole thing. Red Mustang or white Mustang next?
Let's do red. We're here.
All right, red Mustang. Y'all seen it back there where the orange Nova was. We've pretty much got this thing all finished up. I'll give y'all just a quick rundown of everything that we've done to it. Haven't really done anything to the front, but we ended up doing an 8-point chrome molly cage in this thing with through the 4 subframe connectors. So we got all that done. Customer come and looked at the car yesterday to make sure that there wasn't any other small details that he wanted done. But that was the main thing that we did on the inside. Moving to the back, you can see that we did all the rear suspension in this car. So shout out to TRZ. We used TRZ for all the rear suspension, and then shout out to Hudlo Axle for getting our axles. But so we did the TRZ and a roll bar that's made for the Foxbody. It just goes right up in between the frame rails. Push all the way to the front, weld it in. Did their double adjustable upper and lower control arms. Then we also did their lower control arm brackets and the coilover brackets. The lower control arm brackets allows you to be able to adjust your lower control arm and everything like that. But so this will be a nice little setup for him. And we also narrowed the rear end just a little bit for his wheels that he has. Obviously, we put all the bracketry on the rear end, welded up everything on the rear end, and braced it a little bit. And then, like I said, Hudlo Axle built us some 35 spline axles for this thing with good studs and junk. So pretty happy with the way that this one's turned out. The customer's super excited about it. But something that we like to do is, like, this is our crossbar for our coilovers. We tie our 2 back bars that run from the main hoop into this coilover bar just to help tie everything in and strengthen it. Something else that I was kind of excited about is obviously you can tell this car is not mini tubbed, but we are running a 10-inch wheel with a 275 on here. It is extremely tight, but we did make it. We was able to get it to fit. That is kind of the perks of building your rear end to exactly the width that you want. So that's what we do with all of ours. I always tell customers buy the wheels and the offset that they want with the tire. We mock all that up underneath the car, and then we build the rear end from there. That way we can get this fitment, I mean, pretty much perfect, you know. So excited about that. This car should be leaving sometime next week. We've already got him back on the schedule, and whenever it comes back, we will be clipping the front of the car, doing a tube front on it. We'll be doing probably a Team Z K member for it, setting the motor and transmission in the car, and then mounting the hood, and just a bunch of small stuff like that. We also did a Motion Raceworks parachute setup. It's one of their parachute bars and everything that bolts to the crash bar and everything back here. And then a Stroud, just standard style parachute. So this car's come a long way. It's getting turned. It's definitely not a stock car anymore. It looks way better than what it did, and like I said, I'm excited about how it's turned out, and the customer's super excited too. So let's move on to the other Mustang. From there, I don't think y'all seen much. Or from the last video, I don't think y'all seen any of us, any of the mounting stuff. Did we show any of the mounting stuff on there?
I don't really.
I don't remember, so we'll go ahead and go over it real quick. So we got all the Zeus rails and Zeus tabs in on the Mustang for the hood, and then we got everything in on the trunk. We'll show y'all that here in a minute, but we got all that in. We're waiting on the Zeuses themselves to come in. That way we can actually get all that drilled for the hood to get it final mounted. Inside the car, the seat is fully mounted now. We got our front mounts, our back mounts, our rear stall mount. So all that's in. Customers come and got fitted for the car. And then we've also got the steering shaft and everything inside the car. Got our mounts and everything for rear. Steering shaft is in. We're just waiting on some other parts. We're running a 6-inch titanium extension on it. And then the steering wheel and just some other odd and end stuff like that. But we like running the extension. That way it gives you plenty of room to get in and out of the car. Move on to the back side of the car. Pretty much the same thing. Got all the Zeus tabs in, all the mountain tabs and everything like that. And then got this rear package tray welded in to help support the back of this thing. Because we will be running a wing on this car. That's another piece that we're waiting to show up. So we'll be running a 17-inch CJ Race Cars wing on this thing. So once the Zeuses come in, we'll get this all Zeused in, and then we'll start working on the wing, getting the wing installed, and then we'll work on getting the dual parachute setup done.
Tell me about that Zeus panel for the rear for that deck lid.
What about it? What you want to know?
Who made that? That's a really nice piece.
Okay, so pretty much everything on here is going to be from Racecraft. That's kind of what they started out specializing in, was Mustang stuff. So if you need anything to mount any type of parts for a Mustang, really any parts for a Mustang, Racecraft, they make a lot of nice stuff, and that's where pretty much 90% of all this come from. So shout out to Racecraft too. They make a lot of nice products. Last but not least, we're going to be doing a full build series on this thing. So I'm not going to go into super great detail on what's behind me. Like I said, we're going to do a whole build series on this thing, so y'all can follow along with that, and that will be the next video that comes out after this. Me and Derek are really having to try hard to make sure that we record everything that we're doing, and really it's on my end because I get a little excited and get ahead of the recording side of things and do stuff without it getting recorded. But yeah, as you can see, we're finally getting to use our chassis table. We have a 25.2 chassis that we've got started over here, and super excited about it. I'll give y'all a few small details. It says 25.2 chassis. It's for a 70, like 69, 70, 71 Nova that it will be going in. Be big block Chevrolet with a Pro Charger, 3-speed reed case, Turbo 400. One of our chromoly half-inch face-plated 4-link housings. These are got 40 spline axles. The new style Strange Evolution Series brakes and stuff like that. We're waiting on a few parts to show up for it so we can continue. But yeah, really excited about this. This is really honestly what I've been wanting to get into doing. So very excited about getting this project going and taking y'all along for it. So you got anything else from there?
Oh, that's about it, bud.
Yeah, that should be about it. We've had a lot going on. These next few months are going to be a little crazy for us just because we've all got, me and Derek both got a lot going on. So we'll do our best to get y'all some videos out. We're going to try hard to really focus on getting videos out. So like I always say, make sure you like and subscribe and help us grow the merch a little bit and hit us up for some merch. But that's our Friday recap. Y'all have a good weekend, and we'll catch y'all next week.